My name is Duncan Hayler and I'm the set designer for Beauty and the Beast. Well, I'd worked for David once before on Midsummer Night's Dream.
Yeah.
I think that was some 5 or 6 years back. We had such a good time and came up with such a marvellous production that when he asked me to do this, obviously it was definitely a yes. The fundamental idea behind it really was to actually create a very atmospheric piece, which then means that you're not illustrating the story with the design work or with the set, but you're actually trying to help encourage the atmospheric of the piece. Yeah. And particularly, obviously, a prince in a castle that then becomes a castle where you've got literally a wild beast in there, is a very fascinating idea in terms of atmospherics. The castle is not necessarily a castle that one would expect to see. It's not a pictorial castle in that sense. It does contain elements of a castle that's got 4 basic towers to it, yeah. Which I think most people would understand as some sort of castle if it's got 4 towers to it. But it also is a castle which actually almost takes on the aspect of the beast himself to a certain degree. It's a forest which is really inspired from the atmosphere and the situation that the family find themselves in, because when the family are in their house and suddenly everything gets taken away from them, and they find themselves all of a sudden in the forest. So there has to be a big contrast between where they were living and where they suddenly ended up. And obviously when you're in a creepy forest at night and you've just lost everything and the father has to see that his daughters have got somewhere to sleep, it sets up the situation where surprises can happen. We make something out of something which looks as though it's completely trashed, and it becomes something beautiful, and it becomes a new home, and that has a certain charm to it. Well, the costumes were designed from David first of all, because they were required also in advance for marketing purposes to advertise the show. Certainly the inspiration for the piece and the way I've treated the surfaces of the piece, that's certainly come from the costumes. And also it was important to give the costumes the chance to actually show off for themselves. And I mean, if you've got lots of coloured costumes on stage, the last thing you want to do is go and put loads of colours all over the place, which is going to completely take the eye of the audience when actually you want the audience to focus on the dancer. As far as the lighting is concerned, there is quite a lot of lighting built into the set, which is one thing that I do rather enjoy. I mean, we certainly had that with Midsummer Night's Dream too, that there was certainly in the train carriages there was lights built in. And with this it's also a little bit the same, because the lights built into the set, they can become a very attractive little thing in themselves, and they also, if you like, give the set a life. You're not just looking at a wall that's lit externally, you're actually looking at something which is giving off light. Yeah. Anything that gives off light, even if it's a little pinprick of light, a glistening of light in the landscape, everyone's immediately interested in what it is. And it helps support the idea of the set. Certainly when the prince transforms into a beast, we sort of go into a world which is a little bit sort of almost of an underworld. And so obviously candlelight, or the idea of candlelight, can become quite important. It does help to give the set a sort of magical quality.